Neck pain is one of the things I get asked about most often. Usually either somebody's woken up with neck pain or they've done something which has hurt their neck. The good news is that although neck pain can be really unpleasant and often quite worrying, in the majority of cases it's not a sign that there's something terrible going on. Generally, they do settle down relatively quickly. If you're worried, I'd always recommend getting it checked out by a qualified professional, both for your own peace of mind and also just to make sure that there isn't anything potentially more serious going on. The times I would particularly recommend doing that: 1, if you're in severe pain, that should go without saying. 2, if the neck pain is as the result of a fall or an accident, or you've had some trauma to your head or neck. The next situation would be if you're getting pain down your arm, or there's numbness, tingling, pins and needles, weakness in the hand or the grip. Again, those are potentially signs of something more serious. 4th, if there are any other symptoms. So for example, if you're feeling generally unwell, if you've got a fever, you're getting bad headaches, dizziness, loss of balance, anything apart from the neck pain. And then finally, if it's been going on for a long time and it's not showing any signs of improving. So those are the times when it would be more important to get it checked out. Fortunately, the good news is there is a lot you can do to help yourself. The most important thing is to keep that neck moving. Now, when people are in pain, they'll naturally tend to move less. That's understandable because it's painful. So the important thing to remember is that a certain amount of discomfort when you're moving is actually quite normal, and that's not a sign that you're causing more damage. If the discomfort is manageable and it's not too severe, then keep going. You do want to avoid anything which is causing sudden, sharp or more severe pain. So stay away from movements or activities which you know are going to aggravate it. But the general message here is lots of gentle movement, but don't force anything. Painkillers is another common question. I don't advise on painkillers. That's a question that I will refer to a GP or to a pharmacist in individual cases. But I don't advise people not to take painkillers either. A lot of people come to me and they're worried about taking painkillers because they're worried that it might mask the pain, or because they might be doing more damage to the neck without realising it. What I'll explain to them is that the kind of painkillers that you get over the counter, or the sort of thing which is normally prescribed for this kind of condition, they're not that strong. They won't stop you from feeling it if you're doing something you shouldn't be. The idea is that hopefully they can just take the edge off the pain a little bit, which will help you to keep moving around more normally, which will then help your recovery. There's a lot of other things out there that people try to help with the pain. There are hot packs, cold packs, heat rubs, gels that you buy over the counter in the pharmacy, and people can get very hung up on which ones are best. My approach to this is actually quite simple. All of these things work by a very similar mechanism. They help to reduce the sensitivity of the area by interfering with those pain signals. So really the important thing is to pick the one that works best for you. The only time I would have a preference is I would avoid using heat on a recent acute injury. Heat can sometimes increase the inflammation in the area and aggravate it, so I would avoid that. But with a more chronic injury, something that's been going on for a while, then that's less of a consideration. So if you try one thing, if it's not working out for you, I mean, for example, some people don't like cold because they find that it makes the muscles tighten up, and some people find that heat can sometimes make things worse. Just try something else. As an osteopath, there's a few different ways I can help with neck pain. Firstly, I can offer hands-on manual therapy techniques, so things like mobilisation, soft tissue techniques like massage, stretching, and the idea with all of that is to get people moving more freely and to send them away in less pain. Secondly, I offer advice about exercise, so exercises that can help with recovery and hopefully help to stop the pain from coming back. Along with that, I also offer management advice, so that's more to do with adjustments people can make to their everyday routines, to their work routines, both to manage the pain that they're in and also to help to minimise and mitigate any factors that might be contributing to the problem. Finally, I like to reassure people. As an osteopath, I see a lot of neck pain, and a lot of people, they come in, they're in a lot of pain, they're very worried, it's interfering with their activities, their work. There's a lot of anxiety around that. In most cases, I'm able to reassure them that this isn't something which is going to be with them for the rest of their life. It's not something terrible. It is something that's going to improve, and there are things that we can do to help get them out of pain. I find that's one of the most rewarding parts of my job. Here's a simple mobility exercise that I like to give people for neck pain. Now, the important thing here is that I don't want you to take the neck into any position that's actually painful. So a little bit of mild discomfort is okay, but no more than that. Okay, so we're going to start by just dropping the head forwards. Again, just up to the point that you can manage. And take the head back, look up at the ceiling. And again, if you haven't got that range, don't worry about it. Just go as far as you can, even if that's not very far. And I'm trying to feel that movement as much as possible down into my upper back. So I'm going to do that nice and slow, nice and steady, about 10 times each way. And when I've done that, I come back up to the middle, and then I'm just going to drop my right ear to my right shoulder, and then my left ear to my left shoulder. And again, same as before, you might find that you've got more movement one way than the other. If I can only take it, say, that far to one side, that's absolutely fine. I'm just going to keep doing that. And you'll find that as you go along, you'll probably start to get a little bit more movement, but again, I'm not going to force it. I'm going to do 10 each that way, and when I've done that, come back to the middle. I'm just going to look over my left shoulder and look over my right shoulder. That kind of speed, so not too fast. And again, just taking it as far as is comfortable in each direction. Okay. I like to get people doing this as often as they can, so every hour if you can manage that. Ideally, set a reminder on your phone or on your watch and go through that exercise as often as you can.